You're watching the Photo Roundup. Yeah! Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to the very first edition of the Photo News Roundup. This is going to be just kind of a fun show where we talk about the photo news of the week, and I'm going to give you kind of my knee-jerk reaction to the news stories. We're not going to take anything too seriously here. The first story this week is about the finally announced Canon 80D, which I keep saying wrong and people keep making fun of me. It doesn't have an attention deficit disorder, but it is the 80D. The Canon 80D is a 24.2 megapixel sensor that is newly developed. The Canon says newly developed with all of its sensors, but it used basically the same sensor in the Canon Rebel T2i, T3i, T4i, 60D, and 7D. Newly developed. Right. Anyway, it has no 4K video recording, which is a major misstep. I think photographers are coming to expect this in cameras now, to have that full 4K resolution. Even if you aren't viewing it on a 4K device, you still want 4K resolution so that you can actually crop in your videos. Otherwise, you can never crop anything, and it makes it a lot harder to do some of the movements. Well, it has a 45-point autofocus points, and they're all cross-type autofocus sensors. So if you ever want to shoot vertical blinds or your stairs, you're set. Anyway, this is an interesting camera, but the information that I got from the improved photography community, just to kind of get a feel for what people thought of this, we got comments from Tim Covington and Al Jarena, and of course, I think Nick Page is in here. It's just a little bit of a lackluster announcement. There's not a whole lot here to get excited about. In fact, if you compare this camera to last year's Nikon D7200, it's $100 cheaper, has a bigger buffer, more autofocus points, same resolution, and a longer battery life from a camera a year ago from Nikon. And so, Canon and Nikon are always fighting it, back and forth. But right now, it looks like this ATD wasn't terribly exciting for most photographers. In other news, Marc Adamus, one of the best landscape photographers alive, posted this obscenely beautiful photo, and he says right in his description that the photo has been composited. He has a different sky than the landscape, and you can even see more noise in the sky than in the landscape. And so he was upfront, he was honest about it, but still, that didn't keep the photography community from just eating him alive. I mean, reading through the comment thread is just absurd. People are saying he's destroying landscape photography because he's compositing in images. He's a cheat and a liar. I mean, all kinds of things. Everything short of a death threat was said about Marc Adamus here. And really, we gotta give this guy a break. I mean, this is absolutely absurd. He's a landscape photographer. He's being honest about it, and he wants to create art. He wants to do something different. So give the guy a break. Other people like to criticize him because he deleted some of the vicious comments from others. And all I can say is, I'm running a photography community of over 1 million followers on social media, and I can say it's pretty vicious. And when you've got to wake up to that every single day, sometimes deleting the comment, just turning off those negative voices, is the only way to put one foot in front of the other. But that wasn't all that happened this week. Also, Pentax made the news for the first time in a long time. They announced the K1 DSLR. This is their first full-frame DSLR from Pentax. Now, it has some pretty cool things in it. It has GPS in it. Hallelujah. Nearly 100% viewfinder coverage. More really demeaning air quotes going that way. Nearly. It is priced at $1,800. Dual SD cards, in-body image stabilization, and a 36.4 megapixel sensor. But if you're buying this camera, first you must look at the lenses. Pentax has a lot of film lenses that will work on this DSLR. However, with a 36.4 megapixel sensor, what you're really concerned with is, can the lens resolve the power, the detail that is necessary for 36.4 megapixels, and the jury's out on that one. But if we look at the lens lineup for digital, Pentax only has 6 lenses available for this camera, and that's a huge misstep. So although it's a good price at $1,800, there is a real problem in doing it. Well, the other thing that's interesting about this camera is that it has not just a tiltable LCD screen like on this Fuji camera, it also has a twisting LCD screen. So you can move it side to side in case you want a twisted horizon in your photos. I have no idea why anyone would want that. Of course, we'd rather have it articulating. Who knows what they were thinking. But on the Improved Photography Network this week, I am reviewing this guy, the DJI Phantom 3 Professional. Such a cool quadcopter. I own the original DJI Phantom, and I bought a little bit too early. It was just super quirky. This one has come a long way, and the camera on it is actually decent, but it just hasn't quite met up to the expectations that I wanted. Many of you know that one thing I'm doing this year is I'm setting up a local photography business starting from complete scratch, even with not even a portfolio, and just seeing if you can still make money in photography starting out from scratch today. And so I've been doing a ton of real estate photography, and the quality I've been getting from the DJI Phantom is not quite what I had hoped. I'm looking now at the Inspire one, but you can see my full review of the camera on our YouTube channel. Thanks for joining me in this first episode of the Photo News Roundup. We're going to have a little bit of fun with this. Be sure to leave comments so I can see kind of your thoughts. I'm going to be mentioning lots of those in the next episode, and we will see you in another week.